Salutations everybody, it is Matty here with my review for Far Cry Primal. I received this game 10 days in advance of its launch and have spent a little over 20 hours on the game. A big thanks to Ubisoft for doing that because, as you all may know, I was very on the fence with this game, and receiving it so early really did give me that time to play it and digest my feelings for it. Sadly, as imposed by the title, that didn't change all that much. I'm here to tell you why Far Cry Primal is a decent video game, but is plagued by so many issues that it just gets dragged down into the depths of mediocrity. As always, we like to start with the story here. In Far Cry Primal, you play as Takar of the Winja tribe, an oppressed and slowly dying tribe. You arrive in the land of Oros, where two other tribes are fighting for possession of the land. Those tribes are the Udam and Izila. The Udam are essentially crazy cannibals, and the Izila are obsessed with fire. From factions to story threads to character depth, Far Cry Primal just felt entirely lacking. This game is a bit shocking to me, although I haven't really enjoyed Far Cry since Far Cry 2. I can at least admit that 3 and 4 had compelling villains and great acting. Primal throws out the window that one element that you could usually count on in the Far Cry universe nowadays. This change is in exchange for what I will be calling the, quote, specialist system, end quote. There are specialists in Far Cry Primal that serve as the tribe leaders who can teach you skills and give you missions. Each has their own storyline, but it's obvious which two are the main ones, which involve combating the two rival tribes. The rest can be treated as glorified side quests, essentially. It's not like any are bad, but it's just damn average. It's lukewarm. I never got hooked, had a personal stake, or cared at all about any of the tribe because I was never really given a reason to. Somewhat tying into the story is what I believe is Far Cry Primal's greatest strength. Introducing the village. This is your hub and it creates an addicting feedback loop in the game. The way it ties into the story is that you have to, quote, unlock, end quote, these specialists by recruiting them to your village. From there you can unlock their missions and skill sets by building and upgrading their huts using materials collected from the open world. Overall, it gives a bit of choice. Do I upgrade the huts so I can unlock more upgrades in general, or use the materials I just collected to upgrade weapons I currently have? This is easily Far Cry Primal's best feature that stands above the rest. While we're talking about collecting and such, now is a good time to talk about Primal's gameplay. Want to know what you get when you strip the vehicles, wingsuits, and guns from Far Cry? This. Mind you, animals can be used as essentially vehicles, but I digress. I must give Ubisoft credit, they're trying, okay? You can see a genuine effort here, but it just doesn't work if I'm honest. I was never a big fan of Far Cry 3 or 4 and agreed that the series did need a refresh in the term of ideas, but I don't think moving incredibly far back in time was the correct choice. Gameplay in Primal boils down to slapping people with clubs, poking animals with spears, and using the bow for the occasionally satisfying headshot. Don't get me started on the combat. I didn't expect anything crazy here, okay? Don't get me wrong, but the fact that you can't dodge or even block, like, are you kidding? Combat boils down to just slamming the right trigger and getting in as many swings as you can until you have to sprint away and heal your character. Also, it doesn't help that the AI is just stupid. Animals attacking and running away, vision cones are absurdly bad, and it's just easy to break the system, making an easy game, well, easier. While you're out poking people, and don't take that one out of context, you can collect materials, as I mentioned earlier, and upgrade your weapons. I have to appreciate Primal's upgrading system. From weapons to the skill system, it does reward you for upgrading, and you can see the difference in your strength. Soon I was strong enough to hunt bears with just my club because, you know, video games. I always felt the leveling up system in the previous Far Cry games lacked, but Primal's skills do feel like they matter because upgrading gives you a vast amount of abilities that are all for the most part helpful. Also, you're a beast tamer if you did not somehow know with all the promotion for this game. Throw a piece of meat out there, and if you have the proper skill level, you can tame basically anything and make it your companion. This is a great idea on paper, but sadly the animals that join you turn into nothing more than distractions to take hits for you while you do the real damage. They are said to have different abilities, but I don't really see too much of a difference. They usually give you away during stealth segments, which leads to me not really wanting to use them all that much. Granted, there are animals in the game that do help you during stealth segments, but then again, they are the weaker ones, making you choose between each one, which I get makes the system balanced, but overall, it's just never really a good balance, making it just an unappealing mechanic in general. It's a Ubisoft game, alright? There's obviously going to be tons to do. While Primal has certainly been accused of a game releasing too soon and is a forced entry, the content suggests otherwise. There are tons of outposts to capture, bonfires to light, collectibles to, collect, as well as side quests and, quote, Winja activities, end quote. If you're a completionist, this is right up your alley, but missions are beyond repetitive. Hunt this, escort that, collect this. You feel like the village errand boy, for God's sakes, while everyone just sits with their thumbs up their asses back at the actual village. While monotonous, Primal can certainly be a shockingly mature game at times. On a more serious note, Far Cry Primal is an attempt at doing something different with the series, which is commendable, but it just doesn't pan out. It's boring, uninteresting, and monotonous. It's not a bad game, but some of the ideas there will definitely, huge emphasis on definitely because opinions, will interest fans out there. For me, it's just not my cup of tea. At all. Probably shouldn't buy this game unless you enjoy burning money as a hobby. I just find it hard to recommend this even if you're understandably the curious gamer. Wait for a big sale or just skip out entirely and wait for something else. You're really not missing that much here. Anyway, this has been my review for Far Cry Primal. I hope that helped you guys make your decision on whether or not you should pick this game up. Leave your thoughts on this in the comments down below. Other than that, be sure to follow me on Twitter, like me on Facebook. The links are in the description. Be sure to check out triggerbomb.com, the place for all the gamers. Other than that, stay sexy, stay active. I love you all. Peace.